Hey everyone, so you're interested in meditating, huh? But like a lot of people, you've got a lot of questions about meditating. What is it? How do you do it? Are you doing it right? Do you need to hear the sound of one hand clapping? Well, hopefully I can answer a lot of those questions and give you a real explanation and example as to how I personally meditate and how it's impacted and changed my life. And if that's something that you're interested in learning about, come join me. Let's go meditate together. I'll be right back with those answers and more coming right up. Welcome back. I'm Jeff Sandor. This is Breaking Barriers, and today we're looking at meditation. So, step by step, what is meditation? Well, meditation, honestly, it's a practice of mindfulness. Meditation is finding the silent point. Meditation is stillness. Meditation is about being present. Meditation is contemplative sometimes. Meditation is about being alone with your thoughts, so you can understand what those thoughts are and you can understand who you are and who you're not. Meditation is not stopping your mind. There's a lot of preconceived ideas in the West about empty your mind, grasshopper. That's all nonsense. You cannot stop your mind, so just stop trying to do that. If you want to stop your mind, you're going to have to stop your heart, you're going to have to stop your lungs, your kidneys, you're going to have to stop everything. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to do that. So forget about stopping the mind. You have to understand that your mind is like a computer, and it's constantly firing. Thought after thought after thought. So when you're sitting on the cushion or in your chair, or maybe you're laying down, and your goal is to stop thinking, good luck. Good luck. Now the more that you practice meditation, you're going to have these moments where the thoughts seem like they stop, maybe for a split second, a half second, 5 seconds, and then all of a sudden you're thinking about your grocery list, where you're thinking about something that happened to you during the day, or an argument that you had, or maybe you're fantasizing about how you wish that argument would have went. We start coming up with all these things. When this happens, you have to tame your mind. And to do that, one of the techniques that I use is to I concentrate on my breathing. I start to visualize the breath going in the nose, filling the body, and I visualize it. I visualize that breath as energy or as smoke entering my nose, channeling it down to my lungs, circling, and then coming back out of my mouth in an exhale. The trick is to be mindful and be aware of those thoughts. And meditation isn't about stopping those thoughts, it's about taming the mind. It's about, instead of disengaging the thought or the mind, it's more about just turning down the volume. It's about turning the chatter, as I call it, minimizing that chatter and turning it down. A couple of people have asked me, how do I stop negative thoughts from coming into my mind during meditation? Well, honestly, you can't. You can't stop those negative thoughts. But what you can do is not entertain them. Like I mentioned before, I think, if you're having a made-up argument or conversation, you are feeding that thought. You're giving it food, you're giving it energy. When thoughts come in, think of them like clouds passing through the sky. Just let them pass. Just let them float on by you. What you don't want to do is feed into that. You don't want to entertain those thoughts. I always tell people, be aware of your thoughts, but don't invite them in and serve them coffee. And what I mean is just don't feed into it. When we start meditating, we don't shut down our minds and we don't stop thinking. We just minimize it. Once we're aware of our thinking, what happens is, for a lot of new practitioners, and sometimes even with myself, I'll sit there and I'll go, oh damn, I'm thinking. And then you think, damn, I'm thinking again and again. And it just keeps on and on. I'm not doing it right. Forget that. You're doing it right. In meditation, you're just mindful and you're aware that you're having the thoughts. That's the first part of it. It's just being aware of the thoughts. And once you're aware of the thoughts, you're observing your thoughts. Now, the observer can't be the thought themselves, right? If you're observing it, you have to be back away and watching. You're watching those thoughts. Now you come to an understanding that you are not your thoughts. So if you're not your thoughts, you can just start to sit back and observe them. Sandor, who is a phenomenal inspirational speaker and meditator himself, he put it like this. If you're sitting in traffic, okay, and picture the traffic as your thoughts in your mind. If you're sitting there in traffic and you're in a traffic jam and you're sitting there in the car and you're like, damn, traffic. That's one way to look at it, okay? You're being immersed in that traffic. You're immersed in those thoughts. The other perspective would be to picture yourself in a hot air balloon flying above the traffic, and you're looking down as an observer, and you're just like, traffic. You see the difference? That's meditation. Are there different kinds or ways to meditate? Yes. And which meditation method is right for you? Those are good questions. For me, it depends on what's going on in my life. There is what I would call a contemplative meditation. Maybe there's a certain situation in your life, or there's something that has triggered you. There is a problem, there's something that you want to work out, that you want to heal from, something that you need to stand back and be an observer to so you can understand it. That is what I call contemplative meditation, where you don't battle the thought, per se. You allow the thoughts to float in. You still don't feed them and start making a fantasy of them, but you kind of just look at it and examine what it is that's going on. And you look at everything that you feel, everything that those thoughts or that situation has done to you, ways that you have played into that, how it makes you feel, all of that. And that's a necessary form of meditation, because once you're apart from the situation and you're looking at it from like a third-party perspective, you can much better understand the problem, you can understand your feelings, you can understand how you think, why you think the way you do about the situation. And it's a great opportunity to kind of just be alone with that thought and with you and your thoughts about it, and kind of sort through that. Much cheaper than therapy. The other kind of meditation is more of a concentrative meditation. This is a practice of almost like Zen meditation. And Zen, what Zen is for me, is just truly being completely present. And by completely present, what I mean is, if you're sitting down at the table and you're eating a bowl of cereal, that's all you're doing. You're tasting the cereal, you're there, you feel yourself in your seat, you feel your arms against the table, and you're just there. You're not in your mind thinking about what you got to do today. You're not worried about this person or that situation. All you're doing is eating your damn cereal. That's Zen. It's that simple, but it's a pretty hard thing to do. But you can bring that kind of mindfulness into into concentrative meditation, to where you're just focusing and concentrating on your breathing. In the nose, down into the midsection, circling around and back out. And when the thoughts start to come in during your concentration, you acknowledge the thought and you let it go immediately. It comes in, okay, I'm thinking, now I'm not going to think anymore, and I'm going to push that aside. That's concentrative meditation. Another wonderful form of meditation is moving meditation. And by that, I mean exactly how it sounds. Your body is in motion. You can see that in what's called walking meditation, to where you're in a safe area, maybe in a park or whatnot, and you become very present and very aware of every footstep and every breath. And it's very similar to concentrative meditation, only you've got your body in motion. When you're practicing yoga, if you're practicing Tai Chi, those are great examples of moving meditation. Another great form of meditation for beginners is guided meditation. And what guided meditation is you are listening to a third party tell a story. They're guiding your mind. And as the speaker who's telling the story guides you, you use imagery in your own mind. So in that form of meditation, you're not stopping your mind. You're not trying to do that. You're not trying to really concentrate per se on a problem or silence or anything like that. You're truly just following the journey of the storyteller. And you're concentrating on that. And you're visualizing that. And we do that to tame the mind. It's a practice to gain control. You're never going to stop the mind, but you can control it and you can kind of tame it. Guided meditation is a beautiful way to do that. There's several wonderful guided meditations on YouTube you can just look at and listen to for free. I started off with guided meditation, and I would do like 10 minutes. And I would just put my headphones in. I would turn it on. It's important to find someone that you like to listen to, somebody that you feel a connection to. Or maybe if it's their tone of voice, or if it's the story that they're telling. Find somebody that you connect to. And if you're not feeling it when you're trying, try somebody else. There's no right or wrong way to do that. It's entirely up to you. How do I personally meditate? Well, I use and practice all the forms of meditation that I've talked to you about. And I kind of choose which method or technique that I'm going to employ as far as my meditation goes, depending on really what's going on in my life. A lot of it depends on my schedule. It depends on what I'm feeling. Sometimes it depends on how my body feels. Am I really sore today from exercise? Do I feel pretty good? Do I have a full belly? Am I hungry? Do I have a problem I want to hash out? Am I kind of in a manic state to where I just really got to turn down the volume in my mind? Those are the things I kind of look at for my own being. I'm to a point now, usually, every day I try to do just a silent, contemplative / sometimes concentrative meditation. I really believe that prayer is when we try to talk to God or talk to the universe or the divine. And I feel that in meditation, that's the space and the opportunity for God or the universe to kind of talk to us. I don't mean that in a spooky sense or a literal sense per se. Meditation is really, it's a realization. It's not about attaining anything. A lot of people run into problems when they attach themselves to a particular goal. They're like, I want to feel more peaceful. I have to feel more peaceful. If I'm not feeling that peace, I'm not doing it right. Or they say, I can't stop my mind. Well, like we talked about earlier, that's a mistake. Can't stop your mind. The thing about meditation is presence. And the thing about the inner peace that meditation is going to bring to you is not about obtaining anything. You have to understand that the material world around us tells us that we're incomplete and that we need something from outside. We need some sort of validation, or we need to accomplish a certain task or meet a certain goal, drive a certain car, have a certain amount of money or square footage house, whatever. That's not true. That's not the case. When you start down your meditation path, what you're going to discover is your true nature, what you really are. And your true nature is really a beautiful, silent state of being. It's the space. I always say it's the space between the notes of the music, and the notes being your thoughts. Meditation is in that space. That's the space that we open up, and we give opportunity to open up, and we give ourselves opportunity and permission to receive a greater understanding of ourself. And once we understand ourself, and we understand that we are not our thoughts, that we're not our mind, we're not even these bodies, once we start to understand that, the world around us is going to make a little bit more sense. People ask me what I've gained from meditation. It's not about what you've obtained, you see. It's really about what you realize. I haven't gained anything, but what I have done is I've lost things I didn't need. I've been able to unpack issues that I've had and struggled with. Some of the benefits of meditation I found that are real, that are tangible, that I can point out is I get angry less. I'm more patient with people. When people are doing things or saying things that I don't necessarily agree with, or they're making choices that I would not personally make, I can step back, as I do in meditation, and become an observer. And then I can start to kind of understand where they're coming from. It becomes a lot harder to get angry with people when you understand that they are unhealed, and that a lot of the anger that they have, the frustration that they have, the insecurity that they have, basically the basic human ignorances that we all possess, it's hardwired in us. Through meditation, you're much more able to understand those. You're much more able to see those. And once you start to see past those, you start to heal. And when you start to heal, your whole personality will start to change. You will become slower to react. It'll be harder for people to provoke you. You'll be able to turn down the volume of your mind, and perhaps if you're trying to sleep at night, or if you're having some difficulty resting and sleeping properly, if you do those breathing exercises, if you kind of do some meditation, you can kind of turn down the volume to where the mind starts to slow down enough for you to lay back and get some rest. So how the heck do you meditate? Well, how do I meditate? Okay. Well, usually I'll have a cushion similar to this. This is made by Dharma Objects. This is actually a wonderful cushion to sit on. Or I'll sit on something like I'm sitting on here. It's kind of contoured to where I can sit right here, and I rest my legs off of this so my rear is a little bit more at an angle and elevated. So that helps me be comfortable. If you're not comfortable when you're meditating, then you're doing it wrong. People have this wild notion that you have to be in some kind of lotus position and you're doing one of these numbers and straight up and, head up, chin this way, fingers this way. Yes, that's fine. It's fine to do this, hold the basket. This is how I like to do it. I like to hold my hands like this. That works for me. I do a half lotus to where it looks like I'm Indian style, but I like to rest my right leg completely on top of my left leg. So it's not tied up in the full lotus position. It's comfortable. That's how I do it. I don't worry about having straight posture like this the whole time. That's a great practice in Zen and Zazen. And that focus on posture, again, is all about mindfulness. It's just being aware of yourself. So don't take I have to sit in a certain way or I have to be on a certain cushion. No, that's not the case. You could sit in a chair. You could sit on a bench. You can be in your office chair. If you're having a crappy day at work, man, you can take 30 seconds and meditate, and nobody will even know it. You can just sit in your chair, and you can just think in your mind, I'm going to be aware of my breathing, and I'm going to take 10 good breaths. And you don't even have to close your eyes. You could just sit there, your computer screen's right there. Nobody will be the wiser, but you could just sit there. Nobody knows what's going on in your head. So you're pretty stealth. But it's important to stop and take those moments throughout our hectic schedule and get the mind back grounded, get it level. Another thing I like to do is I'll go to the park and I do grounding. And what grounding is I will either take off my shoes and socks and have my bare feet against the grass, or I put my palms down on the grass and I just sit. And there's something magical about the earth. There's an energy to it because there's an energy to all of us. And there's a natural connection there. And meditation helps to sort of lift the curtain, or lift the cover of that. We move the curtain, we move the veil, as it was, and we can feel that connection to the earth, and we can get recharged. Literally, you'll feel recharged and reconnected if you do that. You don't have to be in some full lotus position. You don't have to be breaking bricks with your hands or do Shaolin Kung Fu or anything like that. You can literally just lay down in your bed if you'd like. Maybe you've got a physical disability and you can't move or you can't position your body in a certain way. Does that mean you can't meditate? No, absolutely not. You can meditate in whatever comfortable position is right for you. I personally would recommend, if you're able to, just sitting down on a nice cushion, Indian style or half lotus or lotus. If your legs start to fall asleep, stretch them out. Stretch them out, wake them up. And then kind of return, sit back, and just breathe. So, are you guys ready to meditate for just a second? I'll show you the posture. This is what I do. Again, I got my cushion. Elevates my hips up and forward at an angle. I take my legs. I bring my left in. I take my right foot, my right leg, over top of my left leg. I make sure to position myself where I feel comfortable. I put my hands together like this, one on top of the other. Bring my thumbs in. Hold the basket. Make the basket. This is my concentration. I come in. I rest my forearms on top of my thighs. My back, my posture is not perfectly straight, but I kind of just sit into it. I kind of ease down into it. Sometimes, when I feel like it, I'll put these fingers together, like in a more cliche, stereotypical meditative stance, and I'll just rest them, palms up, rest them, let my hands drape down across my knees. But my favorite position is right here. And I'll just take a few deep breaths, and I invite you to breathe with me. Just take a deep breath in through the nose. And as you do that, feel the air circulating down, almost like smoke, like energy, down into the midsection, swirling around, coming back out the mouth. Let's take a deep breath together. Ready? Let's take another one. Now with every breath, I want you to think about a part of the body. Start with the head and the face. Breathe in. Relax the jaw. Relax the shoulders. And breathe out. Feel those shoulders dropping. Feel the tension starting to release. And if you've already began thinking about something, it's okay. Acknowledge the thought, acknowledge your thinking, and let it go. Let it pass like a cloud. One more time. That's it. You can be meditating in 1 breath, 10 breaths, 1,000 breaths. You can meditate for 3 seconds, 30 minutes, an hour. It's up to you, whatever you're comfortable with. But I promise you, if you practice 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, that's all you need. 10 minutes a day. If you want to do more than that, great, you're an overachiever. But just give yourself 10 minutes a day. Or, when you're struggling, give yourself a timeout. Sit in that office chair and breathe. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you're interested in philosophy, meditation, or just better living in general, hit that subscribe button. I'm Jeff Sandor. This is Breaking Barriers. Hope to see you soon. Keep calm, carry on.